What's up guys, Triple C here. Today I want to talk about the new DLC that's going to be coming up, and I want to give you some points that you're not going to hear on the other YouTube channels, just like from a different perspective, taking another approach to the whole thing. Now, as you probably know, a lot of new Rockstar races were released. We got 50 new Rockstar races, and then they announced that we will get the special vehicle circuits, which means that we will be able to use special vehicles in first Rockstar created stunt races, and then they also want to make it available for creators. Now, what they did announce that they are only going to be possible for now in the Rocket Voltic, the Ruiner, and the Blazer Aqua. And what my suspicion is that they're probably going to do it like Cunning Stunts. First, they're going to promote their own races with it, and then later they're going to open it up for the creator community. But what I really hope also, what would be great if they added all the special vehicles in all the other creator modes, in Deathmatch, LTS, and in Capture mode, because there's so many possibilities there with the ramp cars and all those special vehicles, especially like for LTSs and captures and stuff. That would be really great. Whereas, like, I, for example, couldn't imagine like doing races with the ramp car, you know, like it's probably more of a gimmick, you know, because you'd have some oncoming traffic and you just blaze the traffic away. But like for stunt racers like us, that probably wouldn't be that interesting to do races in the ramp car, for example. But yeah, like you see here on this pic which they released, there's gonna be like different colored boosts, and you're gonna be able to jump over maze bank from 2 directions. And yeah, so let's see, some people are saying it might be released on 7th of March, and other people are saying 14th of March. We'll just see when it comes, but just be prepared that probably it'll just be Rockstar races first, because that's also what they did in the past, and it would make sense from their perspective to first promote their stuff again. Now, we're also going to be getting new cars, and probably of most interest to everybody is the new Pro-Gen GP1, which you see in the pic right here. It's going to be a new supercar, and if some of you guys who followed me since quite some time, you might know that I did like a parody video on the Reaper before it was released, and I analyzed the pic, because you know, like, YouTubers go into details with the pic and try to look for secret hidden signs and everything. So yeah, I'm going to drop a comment myself under this video. If I get 30 likes on that one, I will do a parody video on the GP1 and analyze this pic here to the fullest, and let's see if we can get some good laughs out of it. Right, so this brings me to the main part of the video, what you also read in the title, my concerns about this update. And now let me be very clear about this. It's really not about bad-mouthing this in any way, but it's just being realistic, you know, because every DLC so far has been totally overhyped by YouTubers. And I get why YouTubers also do that, you know, because basically they earn money from it, and basically hyping the whole thing up, it goes to their advantage in the end. But I just want to give you like a more sophisticated approach maybe, and like I said, I don't want to badmouth this, you know. Things are not always black or white, they're not always good or bad, you know. I just want to have a bit more of a realistic approach and say, hey, this could be great about the DLC, but I also have a concern that this or that might happen, you know. Like I said, it's not always black or white, you know. Some elements of it could be very good, while other elements of it could be to our disadvantage, you know. We'll just have to see how it works out. So basically, our main concern in the creator community is, will they break everything again? Because Rockstar has consecutively, with every DLC, they've messed stuff up. You know, they fix one thing or add one thing and they break 2 other things. Since Cunning Stunts, since it was released, it's more than half a year ago now, templates are still broken. We cannot place templates precisely in the creator. And it's gotten to a point where, like, we have the theory that they're doing it on purpose, because it would just be such a small thing to fix, you know. Like, I want to get into the code of the game or anything, but like, people I've spoken to who know about programming said that would be an easy fix within 1 day. And I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, you know, let it take a week, you know, but like, what is that in comparison to the gain we have from it? It also benefits them directly if they would fix that, you know. Like, for people who don't know, if we place a template in the creator, it will always rise. If we change the pitch or the roll or the yaw of the template, you're actually never going to know where exactly it's going to place. And combining templates templates, which are pitch, roll, or yard, is just an absolute hassle. And it's like precise placement is just not possible, for one. And second, if you want to get it as good in as possible, you'll have multiple attempts. It's just a major, major issue. So if they're going to add these special circuits with the special vehicles and make them available in the creator, they are touching the code of the creator. And best case scenario, which would be great, we'd be so happy about that, if the current issues, or the major current issues, there's a long, long list, if they were fixed with this. But like, my main concern is that stuff will get broken again, you know? Then we're going to have the Rocket Voltic, and we're going to have the Ruiner and the Blazer Aqua, but like, basic stuff that worked before will be broken once they touch the programming of the creator and add stuff to it. So that's a major concern I have. Just have to be realistic about this, because they have a very, very good track record on this. They always break stuff, and I wish they didn't. I wish they would test it more thoroughly and go through, because they would also benefit directly from it, you know? So another thing is more code is being added to the game, and that will again be a strain on the servers, because with all the DLCs that they've added, the quality in big lobbies has gone down immensely. Like, if you're in free roam, this will not be an issue for you. If you're racing, for example, in 30-player lobbies, the game is unplayable with 30 players in stunt racing. It's just not playable at the moment with the current server issues, which is really a pity. And like, people in our content creator crews, you guys know that, but for other guys, for example, we hold like daily events in our crews, and it's always 30-player lobbies. Like in my event, in the Race Day Wednesday, we actually made a change to the event to not host 2 30-player lobbies, but to host 4 16-player lobbies, just because it is just not possible to play in 30-player lobbies. It's just too much of a strain on the servers, and nothing works. It's complete randomness if you get through the stunt, because stuff does work differently with so many connections going on. And yeah, and that's unfortunately also an issue which will not be addressed by Rockstar. I'm pretty sure of that, and I can understand it from their perspective, from an economic perspective, because that's an issue which only affects a very small percentage of the players. If you look at it, how many people are actually racing in 30-player lobbies? It's probably 0.1% of all the players in the game. And that issue with the servers and the connectivity, that's something which will cost them real money to get a grip on, you know? So it doesn't make sense from an economic perspective to invest a lot of money in this. You wouldn't even call it an investment. Like, economic wise, it would be a liability, actually. So why would you put in so much money just to help out 0.1% of the players? Other stuff, for example, like with the broken templates, I mean, that would be fixed within a day, so it's ridiculous that they're not fixing this. So yeah, in conclusion, I just hope that this DLC will really add to the game, and it will anyways, but without taking away from other stuff. That's like the only real wish I have for this, you know, because definitely there's some very creative stuff going to be built with this. You know, we have so many creative minds in the creator community, and there's some awesome stuff going to be built, definitely. But I just really, really hope with all my heart that they don't break all kinds of other stuff again. That would be really great. And one more thing, I want to quickly point that out, because it's a point that always comes up. I actually did 2 15-minute videos on this, but apparently it's also too long. People don't really watch all of that. Like this thing where people say Rockstar is all about the money. Guess what? Of course they are. Any corporation is. You're all about the money, you know? Like imagine if you'd go to Walmart and then you pay money for something, and then you say, oh, Walmart's all about the money. Of course they are. They're a corporation, you know? Like Rockstar, they're like owned by Take-Two Active, which is a multi-billion-dollar stock exchange listed company. You know, they have their obligations to their shareholders and everything. So you can't fault them for that, you know. And I never did, for example. And of course, they have to cover their expenses. You know, these DLCs also cost money, but I'm sure that they are covering their expenses. They definitely are, and they're making a nice profit. And that's just like this corporate mindset that you see present in all these DLCs. Like, make the most possible profit with the least possible investment. You know, that's always what you see. Stuff is not properly tested. Stuff gets broken. They don't really care about it. And like, just if you look at the relations of the money being turned over there, it wouldn't hurt them much to just pay 1 or 2 more programmers or to test it more for 1 week or whatever, you know. So I really hope that that attitude might change in the future, because then this game can really finally reach its fullest potential. Because, like, you know, we all love this game for all the faults it has. We still love this game. We play it every day, and it could be so much better even, you know. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave your like on that one comment I posted if you want me to do a parody video. Check you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.